Good morning, everyone. Let me start by saying this life is not fair. But it's still your responsibility to win. Success does not come from luck. It comes from daily reminders, small but powerful thoughts that keep us focused, grounded, and hungry. If you want to win, not just survive, here are 5 things you must tell yourself every single day. Today is tough. You wake up and everything feels heavy. Your goals seem distant. Your bank account is low. Your motivation, even lower. You wonder if it's all worth it. You're trying to build something, or maybe you're just trying to hold yourself together. Either way, you're not where you want to be. And that eats at you. You look around and it seems like everyone else is moving faster, smarter, happier, richer. You feel like you're falling behind, but what you don't see is there today. You don't see the debt they're drowning in, the doubts they silence at night, the sacrifices they never post about. Everyone has a tough today. The difference is some people keep walking through it while others stop and sit in it. Today is tough because you're learning, you're stretching. You're not just living, you're becoming. And becoming is uncomfortable. You're doing work you don't always get credit for. You're showing up without applause. You're making decisions that don't pay off immediately. But that's the cost of progress. That's the price of growth. There's no shortcut through today. Then comes tomorrow, and it's tougher. Tomorrow tests your patience. It asks you, did you really mean what you said yesterday? Were you serious when you said you wouldn't quit? Do you really want what you claim to want? Tomorrow is the follow-through. It's the grind after the inspiration has faded. No one's cheering. No one's watching. But tomorrow demands consistency. The second day is when most people quit. Not because they're weak, but because they believe progress would be faster, easier, prettier. The truth is, tomorrow doesn't reward potential. It rewards discipline. Tomorrow forces you to face yourself. It exposes your excuses. It amplifies your self-doubt. It whispers, is this really worth it? And if you're not clear about your purpose, you'll say no. That's why tomorrow is tougher. Not because the work changes, but because the resistance inside you grows louder. And without a clear reason to keep moving, people surrender. But if you survive today and you outlast tomorrow, something strange begins to happen. You start seeing patterns. You start noticing growth. Things that once confused you now make sense. Challenges that once crushed you now shape you. You begin to build momentum, slow but steady. Your hands are still dirty, your legs still tired, but your spirit stronger. Because the day after tomorrow is different. It's not perfect, but it's promising. You look back and realize those painful days were building something inside you. Endurance, humility, wisdom. You're not the same person anymore. You're sharper. You move with intention. You no longer panic when things get hard because you've lived through hard. You understand now toughness is temporary, but transformation is permanent. And the beautiful part, it doesn't come from winning a lottery or discovering a secret hack. It comes from surviving what others couldn't. It comes from staying one more day, then one more, and then another. The beauty doesn't lie in the absence of struggle, but in the strength you gain because of it. The day after tomorrow doesn't mean everything is easy. It means you're equipped. You're seasoned. You now have what most people don't, proof that you can overcome. You become someone others look to when their today gets heavy. Not because you had it easy, but because you didn't quit when it was hard. And they can see it in your eyes. You've walked through fire and you're still standing. Every day, something goes wrong. The system fails, the deal falls through. The idea doesn't work. The client ghosts you. The opportunity you were counting on vanishes. And in those moments, the most natural reaction is to complain. It feels good for a while. You feel heard. You feel justified. You feel like you're doing something, but you're not. Complaining is just movement without direction. It's noise that doesn't build anything. Everyone has something to complain about. The economy, the competition, the government, the lack of support, the timing, the family situation, the partner who doesn't understand, the friend who doesn't believe. The list is endless, and the more you look for things to blame, the more you'll find. The more you focus on what's wrong, the harder it becomes to see what could be made right. But here's the truth: no one has ever complained their way into success. No great product, no strong team, no breakthrough idea came from sitting in a room talking about how unfair the world is. The ones who rise, the ones who build, are not the ones with the fewest problems. They're the ones who solve the most. Complain less, create more. That means shifting energy. Every minute you spend criticizing something outside of your control is a minute you didn't spend creating something within your control. Creation is forward motion. It doesn't matter how small. A sketch, a message, a prototype, a pitch, a lesson learned, that's creation. That's value. That's motion. Creation doesn't always look impressive. Sometimes it's just opening your laptop and getting through a messy draft. Sometimes it's sending an email you've been avoiding. Sometimes it's putting your idea in front of someone who might reject it. But even the smallest act of creation moves you forward. Complaining doesn't. Complaining keeps you stuck because it convinces you that the problem is out there, not in here. People who create more don't have more time. They have more focus. They know how to direct frustration into something productive. They don't deny their problems. They just refuse to be owned by them. They feel the pressure like everyone else, but they convert it into progress. Every complaint is fuel if you choose to use it. It can either burn you out or it can power your engine. That's your decision. Look around. Most people are sitting still, talking about how hard it is. That's the default setting: talk, complain, vent, blame. But nothing changes in the default. If you want something better, you have to build it. Nobody is going to rescue you. Nobody is going to come hand you your dream wrapped in ease and perfect timing. If you want it, you make it. If you don't see it, you create it. That's how change happens. Not through waiting, but through doing. Even when you're tired. Even when you're afraid. Even when nothing seems to be working. Especially then. Creation is not about inspiration. It's about responsibility. It's about showing up when you don't feel like it. It's about making something useful, something real, something better. Not just for yourself, but for others too. Because when you create, you contribute. And contribution is what makes you valuable, not your complaints, not your criticisms, not your frustrations. Every day, you have a choice: will I focus on what's missing, or will I use what I have to build something? Will I repeat the same stories about why I'm stuck, or will I take a step, even a small one, towards something better? The world has enough critics. It's desperate for builders. Failure isn't what breaks most people. It's the belief that failure is final, that once you fall, it's over. But the truth is, it's not the failure that stops you. It's the decision to stop trying. That moment when you say, maybe this just isn't for me, or maybe I'm not good enough. That's the real killer of dreams. Because as long as you're still in the game, as long as you're still taking one more shot, you still have a chance. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to have all the resources. You don't even need to get everything right the first time. But you do need to stay in the fight. Most people don't lose because they're incapable. They lose because they walk away too soon. They let the rejection speak louder than the reason they started. They confuse a bad chapter with a bad ending. When you look at the people who made it, the entrepreneurs, the artists, the athletes, the leaders, it's easy to believe they had some kind of edgy, better timing, better connections, better luck. But peel back the layers and you'll find the same thing behind every success: endurance. The ability to stay standing when everything around them said, sit down. The refusal to quit when nothing was working, when no one was watching, when everyone said it was over. It's not about pretending it's easy. It's not about faking confidence. It's about showing up again even with the fear, even with the doubt, even when you feel like the biggest fool in the room. Because the moment you say, "I'm not done yet," is the moment you take your power back. You can be broken, tired, lost. But if you're still breathing and still trying, then you're still dangerous. You still have a shot at turning it around. There are people who gave up 1 inch before the breakthrough, 1 day before the opportunity, 1 conversation before the connection. That's the tragedy of giving up. You don't get to see how close you were. You don't get to see what 1 more try might have done. And you never will. Persistence is not about always moving fast. Sometimes it's just about not going backward. Sometimes it's about crawling when you can't run, holding on when your hands are shaking, standing up after you've been knocked down for the 100th time. It's slow, ugly, often lonely, but it's where real transformation happens. Not in the moments when everything's working, but in the moments when nothing is, and you keep going anyway. You don't need a guarantee of success to keep trying. You just need a reason not to quit. That reason might be your family. It might be your future. It might be a promise you made to yourself. Whatever it is, hold it close. Write it down. Repeat it until it drowns out every voice that tells you to walk away. Because there will be those voices from the world and from within. Every step you take, even the ones that feel like you're going in circles, is movement. Every lesson learned from a failed attempt is part of the map. Every time you rise after falling, you build something stronger inside yourself. Not everyone will see it. Not everyone will understand it. But none of that matters if you don't quit. Because the only people who reach the finish line are the ones who stayed in the race. We've been told all our lives that hard work is the key to success. Wake up early, stay late, grind harder than everyone else. And it's true, nothing great happens without effort. But effort alone doesn't guarantee progress. You can run full speed in the wrong direction. You can dig the wrong hole deeper. That's why working hard isn't enough. You also have to work smart. Hard work is your engine. It's what pushes you forward when others get tired. But smart work is your steering wheel. It tells you where to go, how to adjust, when to stop and think, when to pivot. Without direction, effort becomes exhaustion. You can be busy all day and still be stuck in the same place you started. Working smart begins with clarity. What are you trying to achieve? What does success actually look like? Most people jump into action before they stop to define the destination. So they confuse activity with achievement. They chase urgency instead of importance. They answer every email, attend every meeting, say yes to everything, and at the end of the day, they've done a lot but moved very little. Smart work means being intentional. It means stepping back and asking, what's the one thing that, if I get it right, makes everything else easier or unnecessary? It's about priorities. Not everything deserves your time. Not every task is equal. Some things look like progress, but are just distractions dressed up as productivity. People who work smart understand leverage. They know how to use tools, systems, and people to multiply their impact. They automate what they can. They delegate what they should. They simplify what doesn't need to be complex. Because the goal isn't to be busy. The goal is to be effective. Hard workers say, I'll do it myself. Smart workers ask, who's the best person to do this? Hard workers put in more hours. Smart workers ask better questions. It's not about doing more. It's about doing the right things in the right way at the right time. But let's be clear, working smart doesn't mean avoiding hard work. It doesn't mean looking for shortcuts or skipping the struggle. It means combining effort with intelligence. It means learning from failure instead of repeating it. It means reflecting, adjusting, and improving constantly. The smartest workers are also the most curious. They don't just work harder, they learn faster. They ask how things work. They study people who are ahead of them. They steal ideas from different industries and apply them in new ways. Every problem is a puzzle, every obstacle a lesson. That's how they grow, not just through effort, but through insight. In today's world, intelligence isn't just about what you know. It's about how quickly you can learn, unlearn, and relearn. Things move fast. What worked yesterday might be irrelevant tomorrow. If you're not adapting, you're falling behind. Smart workers don't resist change. They anticipate it. They prepare for it. They use it. Working smart also means protecting your energy. Not every opportunity is worth your attention. Not every battle is worth fighting. Burnout doesn't come from hard work alone. It comes from doing the wrong work for too long. Smart workers build boundaries. They say no when it matters. They know that rest is part of the process, not the opposite of it. The combination of hard work and smart work is powerful. One without the other is incomplete. Hard work gives you discipline. Smart work gives you direction. Put them together and you create momentum that's not only strong, but sustainable. You don't just move fast, you move with purpose. You don't just get things done, you get the right things done. Skills matter. Intelligence matters, resources help. Connections can open doors. But none of these things determine how far you go the way your attitude does. Because attitude is the lens through which you see every challenge, every setback, every opportunity. It's your internal compass. And the higher you want to rise, the stronger and more grounded that attitude has to be. Talent might get you in the room, but attitude keeps you there. It shapes how you respond to pressure, how you handle failure, how you treat people when things aren't going your way. Attitude is your mindset in motion. It's not just how you feel, it's how you behave when the pressure is on and no one's watching. It shows up in the smallest choices. Whether you show up on time, whether you take ownership when things go wrong, whether you stay humble when things go right. A positive attitude isn't about fake smiles and pretending everything is fine. It's about resilience. It's about believing there's something to be gained even in the middle of struggle. People with the right attitude don't crumble when things get hard. They adapt. They don't see problems as permanent. They see them as puzzles to solve. Where others complain, they get curious. Where others stop, they keep moving. Attitude is what carries you through the in-between, that long stretch between starting something and finally seeing the results. Most people don't make it through that middle. They give up. Not because they weren't capable, but because their mindset couldn't handle the waiting, the pressure, or the silence. They needed instant success, and when it didn't come, they folded. The ones who go further, they've trained their minds to be patient, focused, and consistent even when the payoff isn't immediate. The altitude you reach, whether in your career, your relationships, or your personal growth, depends on how you respond to difficulty. Challenges are guaranteed. Setbacks are part of the deal. But how you interpret those experiences will either fuel you or flatten you. If you see every obstacle as a wall, you stop. If you see it as a step, you climb. That's attitude. That's the difference. The highest performers, the ones who break through limits, often don't start with advantages, but they carry something inside them that no one can measure on a raison belief. Not arrogance, not delusion, just quiet, determined belief in their ability to figure things out. That belief creates momentum, and that momentum creates opportunity. Attitude also shapes how you treat other people, and that has a direct impact on your altitude. People remember how you made them feel. They notice if you're generous, if you're respectful, if you're reliable. In the long run, emotional intelligence beats raw intelligence. If you burn bridges everywhere you go, you might move fast for a while, but you won't move far. Reputation follows attitude, and reputation either opens doors or shuts them before you ever get close. When the storm hits, it's not your resume or your degree that keeps you going. It's your perspective. It's the voice in your head that says, "This won't break me. I've been through worse. I'm not done yet." That's what gives you altitude. Not that life gets easier, but that your attitude gets stronger. Because altitude isn't just about flying higher than others. It's about rising above your excuses, above your old patterns, above the doubts that tell you to stay small. It's about seeing the same situation everyone else sees and choosing to respond in a way that lifts you rather than limits you.